Hello, students. So, uh, we are in the online session for the subject of industrial safety. Okay. So, this is the subject which used to come for the branch of structural engineering and mechanical engineering in the post graduation course. So, yes, here we are studying the industrial safety, and we have already started our lectures, and this is our seventh session, online session for the subject of industrial safety. Okay, so we are now in the module one. We have covered the topics. Topics are connected to, or we can say that they are synchronized with the syllabus of GTU. So all the topics that are in the GTU will be covered in our session. Okay, so yes, now we will be proceeding towards our further topics. Yes. So the contents that we will be discussing in today's session will be goals of fire prevention program, fire prevention strategy, housekeeping issues, flammable and combustible liquids, electrical fire hazards, compartmentalization. So these are all topics, these are all contents that we are going to discuss in today's session. Fire prevention goals. So first of all, life safety. Why we are uh, why we want, what are the purpose we are behind the prevention of fire. The first is the life safety. The primary goal of the fire safety efforts is to protect a building occupants from the injury to prevent loss of life. So mainly we are preventing the fire so that the harm doesn't happen to the occupants. His life will not get endangered, his body, or we can say that he doesn't get hurt, or he doesn't catch fire. Okay, so because of that purpose, we are uh, making a fire prevention goals. Second is the property protection. We all know that when fire is to occur, then it has a high damage to the property. So it is necessary to prevent the damage to the property, because if the damage occurs to the property, then its strength, its load taking capacity will get reduced. Its cost will also get reduced. Market importance, market value get also get reduced. So in order to prevent this kind of problems, it is necessary to have a protection against the fire. Secondary goal of the fire safety is to prevent the property damage. This is what we want from the property protection. The third is protection of operations. Okay. Uh, by preventing the fires and limiting the damage, we can assure that work operation means the operations that are used to occur will not get obstructed. They will get continued. So for that purpose, it is necessary to have a fire prevention strategy for the fire prevention also. So we all know that the fire must have three things that ignite. That is the fuel, heat, and oxygen. So the basic strategy for the prevention, or to control or isolate the source of the fuel and the heat in order to prevent the combustion. Means you can say that out of these three components, if any one is missed, or you can say that if any one is left in the combination, then obviously the fire will not occur. So it is necessary to take care so that any one component, or we can say that all three components will not get mixed up. Okay? If all the three are present in sufficient quantities, a fire will ignite, or a fire will be unable to sustain the combustion. So means when all the three are present, then obviously a fire will occur. Housekeeping. Housekeeping habit means good housekeeping habits are very much important part for the safe work. Why good housekeeping is important, that we will discuss right now. To reduce the amount of the flammable and combustible material, to reduce the ignition hazard, to ensure the safe emergency evacuation of the, to allow the quick emergency response. So these are all the things. Means in order to reduce the flammable content, in order to reduce the ignitions, somehow some you can say that some machines used to work where the ignition used to take place. So if proper housekeeping is taken care, then such ignition, though it is occurring, will not have damage to the overall property. Okay. We can say that proper housekeeping will also reduce the intensity of the fire if it has occurred, and with the help of the proper housekeeping, a proper plan, or we can say the proper safety will be safety can be taken into account. And with the help of that safety, for example, you can say that a path can be created from where emergency the person or people can exit. We all used to have such kind of paths, or such kind of doors, or we can say that such kind of openings in any building, any public building. In malls we used to have the fire emergency access exit. The place where it is required is definitely okay. So by this, quick response can be done. So housekeeping is an important term from which we can uh, provide a protection to the peoples and also to the property, and also reduce its intensity. General housekeeping guidelines: work areas, SLAs, walkways, stairways, and equipments are kept clear of loose material, trash, and scrap. Means we can say that in such kind of components, for example, stairs or walkways, there should not be any kind of loose material. For example, scrap or trash. Never block ashley, fire exit, emergency equipment, or alarm pull station with equipment. So it should be open. It should be open to atmosphere so that uh, it can find the smoke, and it can alarm. It can ring so that so that it can work properly. So it is necessary that such kind of protection equipment should not be covered. It should be kept open so that once the fire comes in contact with them, it uh, will get um, it will work properly. Avoid the buildup of the combustible trash and the waste such as paper, wood, cardboard, etc. So it's such kind of things. It is not advisable to place near the walkways or where the combustion or some fire used to take place. Keep the use and the storage of the flammable and the combustible to the minimum. So such kind of objects where which are highly flammable, it should be used minimum. It should have minimum usage so that the chances of the occurrence of the fire can be reduced. Clean up all the spills such as grease, oils, or water immediately. This is very much important for our industries. So where there is an excessive oil or grease that is being or coated, or we can say that it has spread around the machinery, is required to be wiped out so that there should not be any kind of the grease or oil. And we all know that they are highly inflammable. Once they get contact with the oil, or we can say the grease, the fire comes in contact with the oil or grease, it will definitely burn. Okay. So it is necessary to wipe out all the extra oil grease that is found in our industry. The delay could result in the accidents. So we all know the delay will result in the accidents. Storage guidelines. All the storage must be 3 feet from the electrical panel. Okay. The storage should be 3 feet away from the electrical panel. So here picture is there where a storage is done, and it is around 3 feet away from this electrical board. In some emergency situations, it will be necessary to access these panels quickly. So yes, from short circuit point of view and from protection point of view, also it is required. So it is necessary to keep the storage away so that it doesn't have an impact of acceleration of the fire. At the same time, once if some fire or small a short circuit has occurred, then it can be easily access. It should be easily accessible so that the person can reach to that electrical panel and can switch off the lights, or we can say that he can remove the uh, plug or any other sources, so that by doing so the electricity will get shut down, and the further increase in the fire because of that short circuit will not take. Okay, so the moral of this slide is that there should be certain distance, minimum 3 feet between the electrical panel. So this is our session. I am Professor Akash Suthar, and we will be meeting in the next session. Thank you. Thanks for attending the session from Professor Akash R. Suthar.